What's going on, you guys? Lord Addict and King David here, coming at you with another R&R with the Lords. We got a pretty stacked show for you guys. First off, how you been doing, King? You know, we just got through recording a couple episodes of Attack on Titan. You know, we got that Attack on Titan reaction coming for you guys here soon.
I'm doing fantastic, especially after watching Attack on Titan. I think Attack on Titan is finally starting to live up to the lofty praise that I hear from all these anime dudes. It's getting to that point where it's luring me in. It lulled me to sleep. It made me don't like certain characters that are turning out to be something pretty special. So yeah, I'm really respecting it. Before I wasn't respecting it. Still holding Naruto way above it, even holding Dragon Ball Z way above it. But we're gonna get a chance to get into it, and not even to go into none of my Baki, stuff. So
that god awful show.
Live up to it.
Talking about that god awful show. I see you.
Butch, what's good, Butch? Yeah, it starts at 5 o'clock. We was there. We was just getting stuff ready, prepping and stuff.
Yeah. Plus, like it was like an hour ago we were watching the Attack on Titan thing. I would like to finish that last episode here soon, so I could start posting those.
If you want to do it after this, we can do it after this if you like.
Yeah, it's just one episode. It's like 20 minutes long. Yeah, King is on the last episode of season 1, guys. The last episode. I think it's going to be a very interesting conclusion. What's funny about me doing, because I don't really do the reactions with them. I'm kind of just there to manage things and like to give like funny input of someone, like pretty much someone speaking from the future, because I'm caught up to date with Attack on Titan. Keep in mind, the last the newest episode that's on our Patreon. Like, it's like an hour and some long. I reacted to one episode's like an hour and like 20 minutes long.
I'll catch up to him one day.
Yeah, one day. But first off, I want to thank everyone for coming through, man. R&R with the Lords. Today we have a good show for you guys, man. We're gonna be talking about Creed 3. King went and watched that, and he's gonna give you his synopsis on that. I kind of got a little bit of early bars at Iron Lord's podcast this week, so it's gonna be interesting to hear his opinion on that today. We're gonna talk about Mandalorian. There's another season that just aired. First episode's up.
Season 3.
And then we're gonna talk about the Last of Us Last of Us season 1 episode 8. There's one episode left in that, and I think there's going to be some interesting, man. But I think what we should do first, King, let's just go ahead and get straight into it, man. I think Last of Us is definitely the show we need to start it with. At this point, we guys know, there's a lot of people that come in here for the Last of Us thing. Next week, that will be ending, and I think we'll you know what we'll do, King? I will get together a panel podcast, and we'll have a legit spoiler cast on the entire season.
Okay.
And that will be on Patreon.
That'll work. Yeah, we can sit there. We can actually dive deep into all these episodes and talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, what was good, what wasn't good. Much like this episode.
Yeah, you're gonna be surprised with me with this episode. All right, so let's go ahead and start it, man. The episode clearly ends with Joel. He's injured. We seen that at the end of
the episode before.
Huh?
You said this episode ended with Joel being injured.
Yeah. Well, it begins. It begins.
Yeah,
my bad.
All right, my bad. I was sitting there what happened?
He's still injured. Ellie is nursing him back to life. And I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going in this episode. I want your general idea of this episode first. Like, let's start with just your overall perspective of, the game to the movie, to the TV show,
I'm gonna be
and
honest with
what were
you.
your expectations going into this episode was? Because a
I'm gonna
lot
be
of
honest.
people, this particular episode was going to make it and break it kind of moment, because there's a lot that goes into this next episode. For the people in the chat, they're right now on the part where, you plays Ellie in the game and you go, find supplies and stuff for Joel.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember it all that much because remember when I brought the remake. Well, no, it was I think it was the remake, whatever, the upres version of it. I didn't get a chance to play it. I had it sitting there, and then I went and got the remaster after playing the demo, right? The little brief part of the demo. So I'm still having to play this game that I played so many years ago, and I never felt like The Last of Us, the first one, was as memorable to me as the second, Last of Us 2. So again, I'm remembering bits and pieces of it and comparing it to the game. I can't really do it because I won't do it any justice. But as an episode, the stuff that I do remember that they met some people that were into some nefarious things. And Joe was injured and she had to, go and heal him. But from that point, it became a little bit vague. So this episode is I thought at the end of this episode that you would be very happy because
Yes.
this episode gave Attic what Attic was looking for. Human on human
Yeah,
violence.
and I'm still nitpicking a little bit on the episode, but for the most part, they showed what it's like to be in an apocalypse world. Like, and I feel the tension that was going on. I feel people knew the stakes. We'll get into a little bit. There was a lot of torturing stuff going on. I felt like there was real life stakes up, and not just I just the previous episodes I didn't feel that, but this particular episode really felt like there were stakes going on. Felt like there was actual beef going on. Felt like there was danger at every corner. It felt like an actual apocalypse. And guess what, King? Another episode where they stick closer to the game than going off the books. And guess what? It's another highly rated episode to everyone else.
I'm gonna say this. I've always felt tension, except for the episode where Frank and this guy. I've always felt the tension. Always felt the dystopian world. Always felt the oppression. Always felt the fear. I think you felt this more because of the human on human violence. I think that
Because that's what would happen in a real
exactly, but
scenario going on in an
yeah,
apocalypse. There
that's
would
the
be
only thing
beef
that
like
set
this.
this episode off from other episodes was the fact that there was wanton violence on humans, and they're still sticking to the script. They're still not showing blood like they're supposed to. They show after effect blood on you. They don't show it happening.
Yeah, and that's my nitpick. It's like,
Okay.
I'm glad that they are starting to actually show the violence that this world is, because this world is a violent world. It's not a nice world. It's not a kind world. It's a very violent survival type of world. And this is one of the very first episodes, including episode 5, 1, and 2, because those are my favorite episodes, that is showing that human on human violence, that when you put a bunch of people with no form of law enforcement, no form of control, that people will go off the rails. 90% of people probably walk around and do some crazy stuff if they wasn't fearing of
Well,
going to jail or
it will
something.
devolve into a religious structure and going to old world sensibilities. Of course, this what this episode was about. It was they devolved into old world religion, old world sensibilities, a monarch type system where one person was either elected or got in by force, and he controlled the group through fear and manipulation. this was this whole episode, to be honest with you. And David was an ideal character for this. The way he handled uh people that was superior to him in strength, people that were superior to him in numbers, and some people that you may think that was probably smarter than him. He outfoxed them, he controlled them, manipulated them, and he was using these tactics to gain an advantage in a place where he didn't have an advantage. And I thought that was very good with this episode. I really like the character of David. David is the preacher, teacher, slash ruler of this small group. And the way he manipulates the situation keys into more of how the episode was going to pan out. And I think it was good, because if you can get people to do the stuff that he was enforcing, it's absolutely nuts. And there are more of them. So for him, he had to be some form of great manipulator to achieve that goal. But right now we have Tip Whale with the $5 super chat. I believe Lord Attic would be a raider if we came to a post-apocalyptic world, because he's looking for all the smoke. Definitely, 100%. I believe Attic would be a lone killer. He would have you wouldn't find his bunker. He would have tripwires all over the place. It wouldn't be a town that you will be able to walk in and find.
I would be the real Frank.
Yeah. Underground bunker that only he knows the entrance and the exit to, with various booby traps and stuff. He well thought out.
Yeah, I mean, so I like this episode. I really was vibing with this episode. I felt like there was good pacing here. I felt like the actors did very good. Like this episode was good. And once
Dragonheart
again,
Yobi, hold on one second, Attic. Dragonheart Yobi, please listen to what I gotta say about Creed. Creed is going to be the I don't know, the second topic or whatever, but please hold off until you hear what I gotta say. Sorry, Attic.
So that was pretty much my synaptics when it comes to this. So what did you like about the episode, like in particular?
I love the fight that individually each one had. I love the fight that Ellie had. I love the choices that Ellie had to make. Ellie messed up a lot. She messed up a lot, but this is her first time in the wild. But she handled herself like a champ.
Tell me how when she took that horse out of she took that horse out of the garage. I knew that thing was done. I knew that thing was over.
Well, I didn't think in my head that they would kill a source of food revenue. Like, to kill a horse is idiotic, in the sense that horse can take you to kill other animals and drag back larger prey, right? And instead of you trying to hustle back, bringing this prey back. But regardless of what, that's a plot hole that I found in it. I thought it was ignorant in what they did. But Ellie's fight, her first fight was to find some form of food. And that's her first fight. And she went out there. She did that successfully. She wounded a deer. She did that successfully. And she was, trying to get that back to Joe. And she would have got it back to Joe, because she would have got the horse, would have dragged it back, and they would have chopped it. They'd have been fine. But she knows, and she's not ignorant. Joe has an affection. And I thought it was a good bartering technique that she used with the guy to say, "Give me medicine for him." I thought that was great. So she handled herself there. She's a little naive in certain aspects because she's a child, but the mentality of Ellie is she doesn't trust easy, and she's going to give you a hard way. Joel's fight was first to stay alive. Then Joel's second fight was to get to Ellie and secure her. And I believe that first we got a chance to see exactly who Joel is. My wife said, "Oh, that's a bad MF." He is a bad MF. And I said, now you're going to see exactly who Joel is. Joel is
This,
that dude that you want in your corner.
this did feel a lot more like the actual TV game Joel. Like this
Yeah.
didn't, and I'm starting at first. It's funny, King,
What?
and we'll probably disagree with this, but it seemed like we do nothing but disagree on this particular TV show. But going into this in episode 1, I was convinced that Pedro is going to be going to do Joel justice, and that Bella was going to do Ellie not justice. But now, going into episode 8, it's flipped. I actually think she's doing a great Ellie, and he's performing an average to below average Joel.
I wouldn't go with you on that, but I think he's doing a great Joel. I think he's working with the material that was given to him.
But that, even though that most of my issues is probably the script that was handed to him,
right,
he's still playing it. So,
right. And I know you don't care about the who, what, and whys. You just want to know about the outcomes. You're a bottom line dude, and I
because my issues isn't 100% Pedro. Obviously,
right.
There's multiple people that have led to this outcome. I'm blaming all of them. They all get in the smoke, but Pedro is the one out in front. So he's got to get the biggest part of the smoke.
I like this episode with Pedro. I like when he got up to Ellie after she did her fight and he scooped up and he said, I got you, baby girl. It's me. This is the connection part that we were trying to get to. This is the part where the parental guidance of Joel kicks in. This is the part where he becomes that father. You understand what a father is supposed to be? A father is supposed to be a protector, a provider, that shield from the world. And I seen it there. I seen it in a couple of other episodes. So I seen him doing these things, and it ultimately led up to this, because this guy is stabbed in his gut with her shooting penicillin into the infected area. Okay,
yeah,
we're not even going to go into that part, but
I don't know anything about. Would that even do anything?
I have no idea at it.
I don't either.
I said as a child though, like mentally, I think you and I would have probably shot him in the butt.
Yeah, muscle,
right. Yeah, bend over, shoot him in the butt cheek. Right, but as a child, now you got to use a child's mentality.
It's not even that. It's not even as a child mentality. Like, she was born after the collapse. She's like, she's never been to hospitals. She doesn't know anything like that.
Yeah, so stuff that's common sense to us isn't common to her. So she shoots it in the infected area. But Joel is going around with eternal bleeding, probably, a raging infection, fever, whatever. And he manages to take down 4 guys. 4 guys. Hog ties 2, tortures 2. And
I guess it's spoiler time.
It's been spoiler time for the episode.
Yeah, I really was vibing with it, man. I felt
it was good.
They showed people keep forgetting Joe was feared in these communities. Like, people are like, oh, he's not John Wick. No one's asking him to be John Wick.
No.
But Joe was feared in these communities. They had people that was literally, what's the word I'm looking for? Like loan sharks and stuff, scared of Joel.
To repo their money. Yeah.
They were going to kill Tez in the first episode because they didn't want the repercussions that Joe found out it was them.
Right. And that's the funny part about it. She had to convince them not to kill her because she wasn't going to tell Joe.
He's like, you tell Joe, he's going to come after us.
He's
like, I'm going to come after you.
So, the episode. All right. So the mentality of how David breaks down, you can break down everybody in this thing, right? And when we find out that they're cannibals, which is obviously you're at the worst end of society at that point in time, because he's not even burying the people that died. They're eating them. So everybody that they come across, that they fight, that they kill, that they're eating them. And the world goes full circle. When he's sitting there, he's talking to Ellie and he's trying to get her to willingly give herself over to him, so it's not called ape. This guy is trying to trick her into coming with him and being with him, because
It was very creepy.
it was so creepy. But I felt the same creepiness when he was with the little girl's father. I mean, with the little girl whose father died.
Mm-hmm.
So you already saw that he was a predator. All right. And he has control over the herd. So that within itself is a troublesome situation. Now, the guy that he had with him, what was that guy name? You remember the tall guy that I think his name was John?
I do have a picture of him. This dude. He's the dude from Fallen Skies. There's a TV show that used to be on FX. It was about aliens taking over the world. It's actually a good show. You should try to watch it. And he's the main character from it. It was like one of those things where, go back and forth. They in that show they can't even hurt the aliens. Like their technology can't even shoot through their armor.
That's ridiculous. But he clearly this guy is bigger, stronger, and more intelligent. But don't let all that stuff fool you. A predator and a person of a high IQ can manipulate and can control a group. And he did it. He told him, yo, go get the medicine and then, come back. Now, he lied to Ellie, told her that it was a 4-mile hike back and 4-mile hike there or whatever, to throw her off or whatever, just in case she did have more people. But at the same time, he knew to get the medicine. We're going to get this horse back, because she's not going to be able to take the horse. She's not even going to be able to take half of the horse. Right? So get the medicine and she's going to run out of here and we can come find her tomorrow. We'll just get the horse back. And
it was a deer.
The deer, sorry.
Yeah.
They got the horse later. they got the deer. And the guy was like, we gonna do this? Like he really looked at him like he was questioning his authority. When he pulls him over to the side earlier, when the daughter asks from the father that was killed from the raid, the excursion team that they sent out earlier in the previous episode, and Joel killed that guy. When
it's funny, they be acting like that dude didn't do anything.
He did so.
He literally stabbed Joel. Like he tried to pull him off the horse.
But it's a different story when you're told, oh, y'all were just going out there foraging and going to get rabbits. No, y'all hunt people. Y'all kill people. He was one of the people that was in the know. So these cannibals are out there hunting and killing people. Maybe the whole group didn't know this. Only selective few. The people that got to chop them up. The people that got to cook them.
Yeah, you could tell that when he handed that lady in the kitchen that meat, that she's like, man, I don't want to do this. Like,
yeah, it's he's like, what is it? She was like, what is it? And as long as you have the silent lie between each other, it's venison. Okay. Then you're complicit, but there's still that lie. But he told the guy right after they came out of there, right after they spoke to the people, he said, I sense doubt. And he confronted him one-on-one. Every time he confronted that guy, he confronted him one-on-one. So it was nobody else around. The second time he confronted the guy is when they had Ellie on the floor and they was going to kill Ellie. And he was like, oh, hell no. He shot the gun in the air and he was like, no, if you want justice, go find the guy and go get justice. Y'all two take the horse back so we can cook and eat it. And he grabbed Ellie and took her back. So his level of control, eat in a crowd or solo, was at a high peak, and I thought that character, the usage of that character itself was pretty good. And the way that it took Ellie to become an apex predator to take that predator down, that was a good scene. The scene with her interacting and fighting against his advances and his ability to try to control her, even when they also threw her on the table and was going to try to chop her up into little bitty pieces because he tried to use the mind games and stuff like that on her. I thought that interaction between them was really good. I love acting for the sense of acting where there's two people that can give dialogue, meaningful dialogue, and you can feel the tension and emotion inside the dialogue. And I thought this episode, more so than a lot more, did it best.
I like when they threw her on that table, seeing it in this, and she's like, "I've been bit. I'm infected." Like, and then he pulls that
Oh
arm
my
up, and then
god.
he's like, "Oh, she is infected," but you could clearly see it was healed at that point. So I think that's why, like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe this was like an animal or something, because at that point you seen it completely healed. She had to turn by now, like.
But it gave her that brief window. If
Mm-hmm.
she waited a split second longer, she let that ability of doubt to creep in, and for that guy to question him, because remember, this guy's already doubting him.
Mm-hmm.
So that split second of doubt, she was
Because
able to grab that butcher knife and whoop.
his mindset was, yo, you're gonna feed us all infected meat. You about to get everyone sick.
Well, one, she already bit you. Two, we ain't eating this infected. All right, but you's about to turn. So either we're gonna have to deal with two turning people or what. But that split second of doubt gave her the window and opportunity that she needed to take care of her business. And I thought that was masterful.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all for this episode. I would say, but the thing we got to do before we pull out of here is, what's the popcorn like, man? What are you giving this popcorn?
For everything coming full circle, I got to give this a 5 popcorn.
Five
Yeah, I
popcorn.
got to give it a 5 popcorn because every individual person played their part to the T. Even the townsfolk, like the town, they played scared, they played afraid, they played unwilling to go along with this, but they had nothing else. It Everybody was acting to the best of their ability. I thought it was a really, really good episode.
I had to give it a 5 too. I think this is the closest that they've been. I would actually say my favorite episode would be 5 still. Now, even though I didn't give that a 5 star, because I feel like they messed up in a lot of aspects in episode 5, I think there was a lot more going in 5. But I will say, whatever, everything they tried to accomplish in this particular episode, they did.
Yeah.
I don't, there's a couple of nitpicks I could give, but for the most part, this was a very solid episode.
Yeah, Alex, after this episode, after this show right now, I'm going to probably do the reaction that's going to be on the Patreon for the Attack on Titan. You can go check that stuff out. That stuff is up there, and I'm going to go to bed because I work nights. So
All right, so we're done with that episode. Now let's start on this Mandalorian, man. Did you watch the season 3 episode 1?
of course, of course.
What was your mindset on this? Because I got some thoughts, man. I got some thoughts.
Well, the way that the season 2 ended, it felt like a big Disney episode. You know, Disney gets a hold of it. So this is their space opera western in space. And I like how they're doing it. I got to tell, Pedro Pascal, you are batting 1,000 right now. You're staying in the zeitgeist. You are the person that
It,
everybody wants to see. You're on
it
HBO
is kind of
Max.
weird that we went to 2 different Pedro episodes back to back.
But he's doing it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So the Mandalorian episode, Grogu is back with the Mandalorian, and they're traversing space, and the Mandalorian goes back to Coruscant, and um, it's changed. The place has changed. Everything is different. He's helped liberate them from um, from the oppressive empire. You have Gina Carano's character. They conveniently written her out of the script. She got hired someplace else, and that's it. And Moff Gideon has been taken to a tribunal someplace, so we don't have to worry about Moff Gideon right now. So those are two characters. It's probably like written off, and we just have to deal with what's going on with Mando and why is Mando there. Well, in the beginning of the episode, you have the people, the Mandalorians that's on the beach, doing an initiation to a new member that's going to be walking the way.
And they
And
kind of make you like under the belief that it's like Armando, like they make you
yeah,
think that this is a past episode, like past in time,
right.
because when homegirl coming up there like that, it kind of like, okay, what's going on here? Like, because I was generally confused.
Oh, so you thought that this was a flashback memory?
Mm-hmm. Of
Well,
when
I
he
know it wasn't a
became.
flashback memory because of where they were located. Remember, they lost their home world and they were scattered across the universe, and they actually landed in this small pocket planet that they were on. And they would have never did that in the water if they know what was lurking in the water. That tell me when that giant alligator bopped out the water with a turtle skin shell on his back. He was pretty much undefeatable, to be honest with you, invulnerable on all aspects. And each Mandalorian was trying their hardest, throwing everything at it, and nothing was seeming to pierce him, slow him down, stop him at all. And lo and behold, Mando comes flying through and he shoots him. And because his ship, he has remember, he upgraded from that other ragtag ship to the speeder fighter, and gave him two blasts and then zooped back around, gave him another two blasts and dropped the beast. But none of them was happy to see him. None of
they
them.
they were happy they was alive, but as far as him, they're like, oh god.
Yeah, you were exiled. You took your helmet off. She said, you took your helmet off and you took it off of your own volition. Nobody put a gun in your head and told you this is what you had to do, but you did this. So in order to atone, you have to go, bathe yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
That's not here anymore.
Exactly. And he knows that there's a place for them to find that and for them to get to it. So he goes back to the home world and he talks to the fallen Mandalorian that actually he bested for the ebony blade. And she was like, well, you go find them. He's like, what happened to your army? Oh, they scattered the universe. You go find them and lead them. Nobody's gonna listen to me without that blade. And that's pretty much it. He just wants to get back into good graces. So he goes back to Coruscant, and then he, wants to get the IG robot to, and that's a battle droid robot, the IG robot, and that's the one. Remember, they assigned him to protect Grogu. So when they tried to bring him back online, he defaulted to his original programming and trying to kill Grogu, and they had to, bash his little head in. But you see the tale of two worlds. You saw the TV show meet the movie because I think it was the last Star Wars film. The droid fixers, those three that was underground, the little tiny guys, they were in the last
hugged.
Yeah, and Grogu was trying to hug him. He's like, "Get off me, you bad baby! You bad baby! Get off me!"
That was funny.
It was fun. I like that stuff. It was a pretty lighthearted episode, really good, but it sets pace in what's Mando's new objective. So his new objective is to fix his droid because that's the only droid that he trusts to go into battle with him. he could have many droids there, but he don't trust them, and he brought a kinship to this droid. So I think he's going to retire on this planet. Be honest with you, I really do, because we got the pirate scene where the pirates was chasing them and they had to stand off, and it felt like a real Western. I love the feel of it because I'm a spaghetti Western dude. So the fact that it's in space and they have light pistols and you have baby Grogu, it's just so cheesy that it's fun. It's fun to me. I like the cheesiness of it. What about you, sir?
I think it was a good episode. Clearly, this is the first episode going into season 3. I liked, the kind-hearted stuff. I liked the showing the objective. I think this is going to be one of those things where that's going to be his objective, but that's not what the overall season objective is going to be.
Yeah.
Like something's going to happen between here and there, or when he gets there, that's going to change the whole season's parameter. I'm pretty sure what's her name's supposed to be in this season.
Who?
Ahsoka. Ahsoka.
Yeah, she's gonna be there.
Yeah, because they're gonna be her own show
new
too,
series. Yeah, the Ahsoka series. They're gonna be.
Yeah, and what's funny
stuff.
is, I didn't realize how relevant Ahsoka was.
Oh yeah, she big time.
Like she's like one of the strongest Jedi alive. Like,
yeah, she beat Darth Maul. I'm real pissed off at that. But
yeah, and she fought Darth Vader on multiple occasions.
Yeah, she's definitely no joke. But now, remember, she's the Padawan of Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
So he trained her, and I mean, he did a damn good job because she is one of the best Jedi that we got. I still go with Mace Windu because he mastered both the light and the dark side. That's Samuel Jackson's Jedi. That we still haven't recovered a body, so we still don't know if the fan theories is true that he used the Force to slow down his descent from when he was blown out of the window from Darth Sidious. So we don't know if he's still alive, but I'm holding hope without hope. Hopefully that he'll make it back, and I think Disney can see the merchandising in that.
Did you see that they are interviewing Samuel L. Jackson, and the only reason he got a purple lightsaber is because he said he wanted one. He didn't think he'd get one, and at that time there was no real lore behind the colors of the purple of the sabers. It was just red or green, and Lucas is like, I don't care.
Yeah, like give it to him.
and then once they did the purple one, that's when he started writing the lore behind the colors of the lightsabers.
Yep, because it became a big thing. Yellow being the strongest, this stuff like that, the hardest to master.
Because that black saber is supposed to be like a midway between a sword and a lightsaber, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
like because it can actually fight a lightsaber, can't it?
Yes.
Wonder if they're going to utilize that a lot. Like, is
well,
there going to be
it's very heavy.
Shows up, or
it's very heavy and it needs blood. It's crazy. It has a very wild lore behind it.
And it's like part of the Mandalorian lore, isn't it?
Yeah. It's their blade to show leadership.
I have a feeling a Sith's going to get killed somewhere with that thing.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's just my opinion on the matter. I think it's good, man. Mandalorian. I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons. I thought they were good show, good seasons. I probably lean more towards the first season than the second. That's just me, because I felt like there was more mystery behind the first season. And that's
the second season, I loved it for the ending with Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they needed to show who's a badass. Like, he's that dude. He's the Babadook. He's the Jedi in the bushes. They was killing Jedi. They ain't killing Luke. Like, y'all can want to kill all you want.
Wasn't that the end of the first season, though?
Yeah.
Where Luke showed up?
No, it was end of the second season. Was it? Wait.
Because the second season, he got Grogu back.
No, he got Grogu back at the end of the second season. Wait a second. Because remember, they didn't want him back. It was at the end of it was the second season he got Grogu back. It wasn't the first season.
I don't know. Chat. Correct us. I'm
Yeah,
confused.
yeah. Hold on. Where did Luke come back at?
I feel like